Record. Okay, we are recording. Let's go to Lindsay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay. I'm a registered dietitian as well, and I am in Anaheim, California.
Hey, Lindsay. We got a lot of registered dietitians today. That's slightly a shift out of the norm. I think maybe 15, 20% of our coaches are registered dietitians. I haven't done the math, but that's cool. Good. Heavy representation. And then I see Ted joined, but I don't think he's in yet. Well, he's partly in, let's say. So did I miss anybody? Okay. We shall proceed. Let me share my screen. And I'm just doing desktop because that tends to be the easiest. All about easy. All right, so we have some status updates. Roxy will take the first two bullets, and then I'll take the profile action team plus the last two bullets. So over to you, Roxy.
We can't see your screen.
What happened? If I share, okay, I tell you what, I'll share PowerPoint.
There we go.
Did that work? Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We talked about I believe we talked about the talent last week, and I just gave a really high-level overview of what was happening there. I think I shared that we had decided on the first four of the categories that we were going to focus on, and that was marketing, PR, I forget what the other, hold on, I got the notes.
Let me unmute myself.
My brain emptied itself, but we have marketing, PR, and sales. And then we also had on that 4-bullet list the foundation. And so Anne's going to talk to the foundation because our ideas about setting up the Teacup Foundation have evolved, and so she's going to speak in depth about that after I'm done. And so some of you have probably received an invitation to the kickoff meeting tomorrow. There's going to be 3 meetings, one for each of the topics, and the talent survey. I think we had a total of 63 coaches respond. And of that, each team has about 8 or 9 members. So hopefully, it's very short notice and a holiday week and all that, but I'm really hoping that everybody can attend at the times that I sent out. If not, then we can follow up with meetings next week, but we're really trying to get as much traction as we can, as fast as we can, now that we're focusing on marketing and sales. And the PR includes events, and I think last week we talked about all the events that are happening even just in the Denver area, but for sure all over the country, that we could have visibility and share business cards and talk up Teacup Wellness. And so that is why we've created these teams, is to help get a grassroots effort with everybody working together for the good of the greater good of Teacup Wellness and getting some clients to our website. So the sales team has no, I decided, and we can talk about this if you're in the sales team, but I decided that the sales team would have basically no leadership except for me. It's everybody just get out there and start selling with support from Teacup. But the marketing and the PR department, we will have ongoing meetings and create plans and budgets and approach that like a real business would, so that we can see what's working. We can report on results and actually track what we're doing in those areas. So I think that's all I have, unless I've forgotten something important. Anne?
I'll jump in and just add a couple points. The sales will be commission-based. We will be coming up with some contracts to have the coaches who want to participate in that, have them, give feedback to, we'll adjust, and we'll have signed. And then what was I going to say? There's also a referral aspect. Some people have reached out to us. Oh, Roxy, I don't know if the echo is carrying into this room. I can hear myself in the other room. Can you?
Oh,
I
here,
can
let me
mute
mute.
you. That's right. I can mute you. There. Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Oh, no, it's not even muting you. I don't know. Never mind. If it's distracting anyone, speak up. What I was going to say is there are some corporate referrals that several people have mentioned, and we also need to get a referral agreement in place. And so I think we would use much of the same language, and we'll probably tap into the original contract. May need to run it by our legal team, depending on how complex it gets, or maybe we'll let it initially work, and then it'll be pending final legal review if there's any tweaks that they would want to do for us, just to not hold us up. I just wanted to add that. And then Roxy, for everyone else who responded to the survey but is not in those 4 first key groups, did you mention that? Did I miss it? No, I did not mention that. So, you're on mute, and I can't get to you. There you are.
La, 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 la. That is weird. We both talk so loud that we could hear each other across the house. So there will also be a thank you email going to participants in the survey who have talents that we're not utilizing right now. So I just wanted
to make sure that all those people know that we definitely recognize their offer of help, and got a big old spreadsheet.
Why is it echoing?
You know what?
I don't
You
know.
will this one closer.
close my
That's better. We'll figure it out, guys. Did we say we were tech savvy?
Yeah, we're tech savvy.
Don't remember. Okay.
Anyway,
continue.
so we're going to acknowledge everybody who offered their talent in the other areas we're not using right now, but we're keeping that database to reach out to people who had some future ideas or future talent that we'll use.
Yeah, and I think to put a time frame on that, my estimate is that this third large bullet down, the paradigm shift topic that we're going to talk about briefly next, we anticipate getting that kicked off and running by about this time next week.
Yeah.
We have a very aggressive approach for this new idea we have. We just want to run it by some people first, including our CPA, to make sure that we're not that we're in alignment with the way we should be doing business. So that means that once we get that kick-started and we've got our leads and everybody's operational, because you're defining leads for most of your activities in these 4 first priority groups, then we anticipate jumping right into some of the other talent team offerings. It may be, I don't want to be too aggressive and overpromise. It could be 2 weeks from today before we start to reach out. But we don't want it to get into July before we start tapping into those other talents and take advantage of that. And I should add that sorry, go ahead. Does someone have a question?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Because I got like a cancellation thing for it, but I got the 2 invitations, so I just wanted to confirm the
we were just talking. Well, talk about tech savvy. No, Apple has. I wonder if Apple has some bugs because we have been experiencing unusual behavior with the calendars lately.
Yeah, really bad.
And we've been Apple users. I started in 80. I forget. 89. I've been an Apple user since 1989. Yeah. Which is probably before some of you were born. But it's like, we know Apple. There's no reason for some of these things to be happening. So apologies if some of you are getting these odd cancellations, because what it looks like is like the invite hasn't even gone out, and then it freezes mid-frame, or it doesn't take the users we want to add. It's very freaky. We're hoping there's a system upgrade that will address some of those. But yeah, the meetings are on. Roxy, you want to touch on the times?
Yeah, Allison, I'm gonna look at which one you're in because I can't remember.
Because are they separate for sales, marketing, and PR?
Yeah, they're separate, and
Okay.
I think you're in marketing.
Because I mean, my former career was in PR. I've done marketing, PR, and sales. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was trying. I took you out of PR because we had other people. But if you want to move into another area, I'm open, and that's what these meetings are going to be about. It's just sort of let's discuss where you feel like fit best. So yeah, your meeting is tomorrow at noon Mountain Time.
okay.
Okay.
Great.
Good question. I was wondering what happened with those.
Yeah.
And it was the 12 o'clock one I had the most trouble with. So.
Yeah, I saw them all come in, and I know Roxy's granddaughter is due today, by the way. Her little baby.
Not my granddaughter. Oh, my granddaughter is
your
due,
granddaughter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
My
your daughter is due to
giving
give birth, but the baby is due today. So we've been in a holding pattern for like a couple weeks and out into the next couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah. So you might be meeting with Anne.
Yeah, you'll have to use me.
If she's giving birth at home. So I'm
Courtney, not me.
No,
yeah, your daughter. You might have to meet with Anne. She's giving birth at home. Sorry. And we don't do drugs either.
No,
We're just having too much fun.
You want to go sit on the couch?
Yeah, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I bet. Let's go sit.
Roxy hurt her knee the other day, so she's like
I
all trying to keep her knee elevated. All right, let's try this.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yep.
All right. So we've covered
all that. The talent survey and the next steps.
Okay.
And the survey's still open, so we check back periodically to see if anybody's added talent.
We took downloads last night, and then I took one this morning for the fundraising and grants and nonprofit teams. So I'll take the profile action team topic. Lisa Johnson is helping us reach out to people, and in fact, so is Bobby, because she is like following up with people who've had calendar trouble, and from that, we're finding a few people who want to cancel group sessions, which is perfectly fine. It frees those up for other people to use. And so we're still in the process of profile customization, and we have an outreach planned, which will be mostly in the form of an email to give people an update and see where you are in like we know you said 5 on the survey, so does that mean everything's good? Are you ready to bring clients? Is there anything holding you up? Let's start the clock ticking on the contract obligations. So that's the kind of conversation we want to have. But before anyone freaks out, I think this next bullet about the paradigm shift will reassure a lot of people about the way we're going to frame Teacup going forward. So I will jump to that. Are there any questions about those first status topics? Okay. So first I'll give a little background, and you guys are getting a sneak preview even before the foundation team. I'm going to be meeting with the foundation team this afternoon. I think I said 3 o'clock, was it? Mm-hmm. Something like that, Mountain. Roxy and I have been exploring, I guess is the best word, exploring all the various aspects of what it takes to get a for-profit business in the black, because clearly we're in the red right now. And we also looked at all the different sales models and promotional models, and before we recommended these price points for you guys, we did the research on what our coaches charging. We know it's much higher in certain parts of the country and lower in others. And, and I think some of you kind of settled on price or rates that may be higher than your initial comfort level. And you may even be suspecting, is that part of why we're not getting traction yet? And I want to remind everyone that I believe it was May 1st when we announced our first coaches live on our redesigned and redeveloped website. So it hasn't been that many weeks that we've even been able to take clients, but we have been getting some blogs out. We've been getting some awareness. People are having business cards. We should be seeing at least a little bit of traction. And quite frankly, in all transparency, we're not. And so that caused us to go back to the drawing board about 4 or 5 days ago, I guess, is when we really did big heads down brainstorming with just Roxy and me. But now we're going to be bringing in the foundation team to get input. So what we're looking at is a pay what you wish model. And there are a lot of logistics, and it's totally optional. I put that last bullet in there. It's optional for you guys to participate. You can keep the posted rate, and then you can do a pay what you wish option. And we're determining what that base rate is. We're anticipating it would be a base rate of $35 an hour, for instance. So it's attainable for anybody, almost anybody who wants to have a coach. And then we would have a pay what you wish option at the end that serves as a donation, where the coach keeps the majority, still that 70-75%. If it's 70%, then the 5% goes to whoever referred the client. And then we're also looking at taking simple donations, where we would have a big donation button. And by the way, I should back up. When we started researching the 501c3, we realized, because we had just kicked that can down the road because we were so focused on getting coaches up and all the other logistics, but we discovered that it takes anywhere from 2 to 12 months for a new nonprofit to be approved by the IRS. And so we're still going to be moving that forward. I'm going to wait and meet with the foundation team and see who would like to help in terms of getting that set up properly. And then we would be open to things like grants and larger, corporate type donations. But in the meantime, we're looking at taking smaller donations. They're not tax deductible, but one good example is Greenpeace does this. They have a nonprofit and they have a for-profit. And if you donate to the for-profit, you cannot take it as a tax deduction, but it is still an acceptable donation and you're helping build a business. So we have all kinds of language already figured out about how we would encourage people to participate in this. The idea is it's kind of a form of pay it forward. So that's at a very high level. We feel like this will, that fourth bullet down, it gets us to bright faster in terms of the overall vision. Because I think originally, at least, we had said, let's get the for-profit up and then quickly follow with the foundation model. Well, then we realized, you know what, we're struggling a little on the for-profit. Why don't we look more at a social enterprise approach, which had been in the back of our minds. I'd heard about this last fall and was, thinking, okay, let's just table that idea for now. But now we're realizing that could be the way to accelerate, and really, it is a paradigm shift in how wellness coaching would be offered. It could be the catalyst for all kinds of PR, good PR, about this company that is giving reasonable rates. You can still, it's almost like a tip at the end of the coaching session. The client can say, wow, I love that. Let me throw an extra $100 and I know where my money goes because we're totally transparent about it. And that's the other thing that's not in here is we're going to be 100% transparent about like the salaries Roxy and I take, all of the expenses it's taken to get to where we are today, where the donations are going in terms of, in fact, we have this fun graphic, not to spill the beans too much, but I'm excited about it, where, the donations are filling the teapot and then we turn around and we're filling the teacups for other people. So again, optional. We don't want to tip the apple cart. It doesn't mean we're going to redo any contracts I don't think. I mean, it's just a rate change. Mm-hmm. And then it's a slight model change, but that 70-75% still stays in place. If a person loved your services and they want to throw an extra $100, you get 75 of those dollars. So we're not trying to switch it in that regard. We're just trying to, let's figure out a better way to not let the price point be a breaking point, and still invite more dollars from those who can afford it. So I will take a breath and go back here and see if anyone has questions about what we've talked about so far. Or comments. Or, oh my God, what are they thinking? That's okay too.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If we do want to participate in the pay at your own rate, whatever, or pay at your own
What you wish. Mm-hmm.
Are you guys going to set that up for us, or how does that work?
Yeah, we would totally set it up, and many people may keep both.
Okay.
We'll set up extra events for you. Some, one that is at this lower pay rate, which would be labeled as pay what you wish, with a base of whatever that is, $35 an hour felt right, but we want the input of the foundation team. But yes, we will totally set it up for you, and we do, if we get alignment this afternoon from the foundation team, and that's kind of like my permission to proceed, then I am going to aggressively work over the next 4 or 5 days to get all that set up for everyone. So we have the PayPal connections, we have the donations, we've got graphics from Roxy, which we're already sketching out. So yeah, no worries on your part. You don't really have to do anything except, yeah, this sounds good, and you're comfortable with offering that as one of your offerings.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So I have a question about it as well. I really like the idea because that was one thing I was a little nervous about with the pay rate.
Yeah, us too, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's like it'd be great for the people who can afford it, but for those who can't, you still want to offer services.
Right.
So if you're offering both, like if you opt in to do both of those, what would be, like how would they be presented to where the people who can afford more would still be more inclined to do that rather than just do, oh, well, I could pay cheaper here, even though, it's not that I'm in.
So what we would do, we have an open text field on your price point on the profile result that shows up on the web page. So we would adapt that for those who participate, and we would say, we need input. This is not locked in stone, but we would say 35 plus or something like that. And then when they come in and they see your events, which are the 1 hour, 30-minute, 3-pack, whatever your items are, they would see one event that is set for that price point of the 35 plus pay as you wish. And we would just label it that way. So people see that that's the pay what you wish. But then there's also right below it is your 100 an hour rate, and so we know that we're opening the door to people, the very, very small subset of people who may want to be unethical about it and say, I probably could afford 100, but I want to pay 35 because what a bargain. But it's like, we're kind of basing this on the law of abundance or the rule of abundance, that we believe that most people do have generous spirits, that they do want to see change in the healthcare industry and the way wellness is so disparate across economic levels. And we're going to talk about all of that in the messaging that the client sees as they see the option to pay what you wish, where that money goes to, how much we have. Again, transparency is key, and I think that will invite honesty and integrity for that approach.
Okay, that sounds great. One thought of just an idea that just kind of popped in my head. I don't know anything about like programming or whatever, so I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
But even just to ask people that are going in to look for a coach, maybe what the price point they're looking for. And then from there, it would kind of show them the different options when they click on the people. Like if it's a lower price range, then they would see the pay as you wish option first.
That's a good point, because right now
idea if it works.
We have a page called what the health can a coach do for me? What can a health coach do for me? We have that page, and we could use it as an entry point, and we may need to redesign the Find a Coach to allow them. I mean, we were not going to encourage customers to search by price, but now that we're kind of switching it up, maybe
Yeah.
that is an okay thing to do. You know,
At least maybe reorder like the
Yeah.
options that they see.
Yeah.
Just a thought though.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and you're
Yeah,
capturing
I
that.
made
Yeah,
a note
thank
of
you.
that, 'cause that's a
Great point. I think that is, you know, as we start, and also what we're thinking is, as we're kicking off the PR and the marketing and the awareness and the blogging and all of these kind of, you know, synchronized events, it's good for us to really solidify what does Teacup stand for. Not that we're going to create this foundation in the future and keep an eye on us, but guess what? We're doing it now. We're already going to take low price points. We're going to take that money, target it for coaching for people who can't afford it. Even $35 an hour, it might be too much for some. And so we'll have another option, you know, that we offer to coaches. So anyway, I don't want to like give away everything because I haven't even gone through it with the foundation team yet. There are a lot of logistics around it that we've drafted, so the foundation team can react to it. And then as we get it out in front of coaches, we would invite input. It's not like, ta-da, here it is, good luck. It's more like, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're implementing it. Here's when it'll be implemented. Here's how you say yes. And then we start to get that train off the tracks, or not off the tracks.
on the track.
Yeah. Yeah. The plane off the ground.
Flying train.
Flying trains and planes. And, oh my. Any others? How are we doing on time?
We are at 31. 11:31.
Well, more to come. I've been hinting a little bit at just to a couple people in the last day, because really it was yesterday morning that it totally started to solidify. And then we started to put language to things, and there's got to be a better phrase than meat to the bones, because we don't eat meat. But anyway, you know, putting
Leaves on the tree.
leaves on the tree. So we're starting to, you know, flesh it out. There's that's still got to be a better word. If anybody comes up with a better word than flesh it out or meat on the bones, let us know.
I did. Leaf on the tree.
Leaf on the tree. Okay. If anybody comes up with a better one than that. All right. So let's see. Let me go back to here, and then I know we're pretty much out of time, but are there any other questions or open topics we should cover?
Are the marketing materials, because like I know I had filled that form out a long time ago.
In April, yeah.
Yep.
Roxy can talk to that.
Yeah.
Roxy, where are we on those
They
things?
are done, and but I've got a printer I like, and what we're going to set up is he's going to print a certain amount and then ship them right from the printer to you. So we are actually ready to do that right now. So
Yeah. It took two tries to find the three tries to find the right printer and to find the right pricing and the right timing.
Yeah. And then the drop ship kitting and that kind of stuff is it's not hard to do, but it's just, you want to make sure that you find a printer that does those things properly. And they're great. And they're in California actually. So those will be going out. So what form
Who's the guy in Florida then?
That's
Is he
a different
living-
guy.
Oh,
I decided
You're
to stick with the
confusing me.
California guy.
yeah, that work was great.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Okay.
So so there's a form that everybody filled out
Yeah,
requesting.
there's about 37 people who've requested marketing materials.
Okay.
And most of them, they just left it open to whatever we give them.
Okay.
A few people said some specifics like pens and notepads.
Yeah.
We're probably going to hold off on things that vary from our core packet right now. The core packet being bookmarks, postcards, business cards, and then decals for those of you who want them.
Yeah.
And they run like $10 a piece. So we only want to print the decals for those of you who really put them on your car. But yeah, that's absolutely in the works as well.
Okay.
We got our shipment last Thursday for the last tea party, and we've already handed out some, and we're confident now in the quality. Nothing, they haven't melted in the time they've been sitting in there. So
And we have everybody's
so we can start.
address.
Yes, and we have
Okay.
we have all
Okay.
the addresses, all
All
of
right, we'll
that.
get those off
Yeah.
to you, Allison.
Thank you for asking. Yeah, that was one of those. Took a lower priority for a little while, but now it's time. And none of the messaging there is in conflict with our paradigm shift. It's just going to be, a little bit different in how we talk about it. but there's nothing about rates anyway on a material. So
Nope.
all good.
Thank you. I was wondering if that form still was.
It is, and yes. So yeah, in fact, I downloaded it last night just to take a look.
Oh, good.
And I thought, Roxy, you need to be sure you're looking at this when you
Yeah.
talk to that guy.
The one I looked
Yeah.
at must have been weeks and weeks ago.
It
There was
must have
only
been.
about 6 names on there.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are quite a few back in April. So thank you for the patience of
Looking
you,
at the
those of
wrong
you.
thing.
You're
Yeah.
probably looking at the wrong
Yeah, I
one.
probably am.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for being patient. But it's happening.
It is happening, and they're gorgeous. For those who weren't on the call last week, let me grab them real quick. I'm just so proud of Roxy's work. So these are the postcards, if you can see. Actually, I'll hold up one. I'm blocking your face.
No, I was just looking to see how it was looking.
Yeah, how does
that
it
looks
look?
pretty good.
So that's the
Yeah.
front. There's a little teacup
Mhm.
with our logo. And then the back looks like this. And to keep our costs reasonable, we have left room for you to write your name in there so that if somebody finds it in a clinic or wherever you leave these, they'll know who to mention when they say, how did you hear about us? And that way that gets you to that higher price or higher rate point.
The 75%.
That's our plan so
Yep.
far anyway.
Yep.
So that's that. And then this one, the bookmark. Not sure if you can read the headline. We could put pictures of these out there. Now that we have them, we can put them on the marketing
Mhm.
request form. And then the
Yeah.
back has a similar thing. Language is a little different, but there's a space for you to handwrite your name. We priced out customizing them, and we thought about looking at them like business cards where we could actually pre-print your name, and it was just astronomical. It wasn't going to be cost effective. So that's the solution we landed on. And it's really nice cardstock, heavy,
Yeah, it's real heavy.
beautiful, rich color, 4-color bleed, for those of you who know this stuff. It's a coated stock, but not shiny.
Right.
I love the Get Well Soon. That was Roxy's idea. I thought that was just beautiful. And then take care of yourself first. You can't pour from an empty teacup. Was also Roxy's. She's going to take over my writing job. All right, guys. I guess that's it.
Anything else?
All right. Thank you so much. For those
Thanks.
of you, if we don't see you later today or tomorrow, have a wonderful Memorial Day.
weekend.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather. I hope it is everywhere this
Yeah, it's
country
nice
today
here.
or this weekend. Take care.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.